Hello, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Knits. For this particular episode, I wanted to talk to you about an opportunity to treat yourself. There are so many instances where we forget to love on ourselves, to celebrate the successes that we've had accomplished, as well as just taking a moment just to take care of ourselves. So for this Friday, I'm calling it Treat Yourself Friday. So for me, I decided to treat myself to getting my nails done. I also decided to treat myself for getting myself a haircut. And then finally, I decided to treat myself by doing my laundry, which is sitting right next to me. I'm so close to putting it away. It's so close. But every Friday, I try to do a little something for myself. I spend the whole week doing as much as I can for my students, my family, my loved ones. And I always feel a little drained on Friday. I feel a little like, oh goodness, who else needs me? Well, I just need a moment to use the restroom or just breathe or just process whatever it is that I've been dealing with or going through. So I've made it a habit for the last year to take Friday just for me. And this Friday, since I had a day off from work, I decided to call it Treat Yourself Friday. And so not only am I treating myself to getting like my nails done, for example, but I'm also going to treat myself by doing some self-care. I've already exercised for the day and done yoga, and I'm going to do other little things just to remember that it's important to love yourself and it's important to take care of yourself in order for you to help others. I'm also filming in a different location. I'm in my main room because my lovely son is not feeling well, and where my yarn room is right above his room. So I don't want to be too loud and wake him up as he's hopefully falling asleep. And so with that said, let's talk about some ways that you can treat yourself this Friday. The first pattern I would like to feature is the French Kiss top, which is about $8.34. This is a stripe pattern that allows you to do the dip stitch. It offers a wonderful opportunity for you to dive into your stash as well as get a lot of bang for your buck, as you can knit this as a summer top or you can knit it as a slip over. Another pattern that is a great bang for your buck is the Stay Extra Toasty scarf, which is a wonderful opportunity for you to dive into your collection of yarn. This pattern is a wonderful design by Veronica Lindbergh and includes a YouTube tutorial for a step-by-step process to knit this beautiful accessory. Another design I am super excited to put on my needles is a Seville dress. This is something that ranges for 4.5, 4 millimeter middle meter needle. I'm so in love with this particular dress because of the pocket. I think this will be a wonderful addition to my wardrobe, and I highly recommend individuals who are seeking out something new and unique to add to their collection of garments made by their own hands. Now, we all heard of the step-by-step sweater. This is a free pattern that includes a YouTube tutorial by Florence Miller. With this free pattern, you can use either DK weight or Aran weight in order to make this beautiful sweater. You can either do this in a solid color or you can do this in stripes. I really love the design of this and I'm hoping to get this on my needles, but first I got to cast on these cherry blossom socks. Stone Knits once again hit this out of the park. It's a beautiful design and I cannot wait to put it on my needles. What I love so much about this is that you can get two for the price of one, which brings me to another treat I can't wait to start off with, which is this beautiful mug. You can go onto Etsy, order this mug to be custom, and as you can see, there's some instances where it may not meet your expectation if you want this through 3D, but it is not a 3D Well, I hope version. you enjoyed my attempt to do a little B-roll. It's not something I'm accustomed to. Honestly, my students try to teach me how to do B-roll. I want to say it was like 4 years ago because it was when I started teaching AP African American Studies, and I don't know. I was like, I don't understand it. What is this happening? Uh, and today I was like, you know what? I really want to share with folks about these patterns that are inspiring me, that I'm thinking about treating myself to. So this is how I put it together. So I hope you like my little version of trying to share with you some inspiration that is out there. All in all, I'm currently working on my zipper sweater. I realize it's not quite the length I want it to be. I've successfully completed the bottom hem, but it's not long enough. I had my husband try it on and it fits him. Sorry, I was actually sitting on the pattern, which you should not sit on your knitting. And I apologize for the rocking as I am holding my computer today rather than setting it on something. So apologies for that. But nevertheless, the hem, which came out pretty nice, but it's weird where it's like puffing up. So you see how it goes straight from the body to the hem, and I don't know why it's doing that. And I'm hoping that when I block it, it will stop. Initially, I was going to rip out the hem, add about 3 more inches to the body, and then do the hem again. But I really don't see myself doing that. One, I really don't have a lot of yarn left. I have only a ball and a half, and this pattern calls for for the size I want to do, I need at least 1,700 yards. And I genuinely thought I had enough in my collection, but what I thought was an extra ball of yarn actually was for another project. So it was a oops, my bad moment. I did find another ball of yarn that was in close color to what I've been using, and it blended in really well. And so but I used all of that. So my hope is that what I have left over is enough to add to the body. But worst case scenario, if I'm unable to do that, what I will simply do is just give this beautiful zipper sweater to my lovely 11-year-old who is probably going to outgrow it by the time he's 13, which means it can go to his 9-year-old brother. Or I can give it to my 21-year-old stepson. Who knows? Somebody in this house will be wearing this garment. I have not touched the rosy sweater once I broke for sleeves. I'm taking a little break from that as I want to make sure when I'm working on it that it gets my undivided attention. So more than likely, I'm going to swing back to that during the April break vacation that we have here in Massachusetts. Another project that I've been working on and have made a lot of progress on, which has disappeared. It was sitting next to me. I wonder if I'm sitting on it. I am. Are my puffy socks. So Summer Lee, as we all know, is an excellent knitwear designer, and she's so entertaining. I love her YouTube channel. And she's inspired me to step out of my comfort zone when it comes to colors. And recently, I decided I wanted to cast on the puffer socks using my K-pop demon socks. When I was with my friend Annie on our way to Rhinebeck, she mentioned that she purchased this yarn, and I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty." And I love the movie K-pop Demon. I keep hoping my sons want to watch it again, but I may just have to watch it again by myself. But anywho, I decided to use that sock yarn, I should say, for the puffy socks, and I'm just so loving how this is coming out. But it is taking me a little bit longer than usual to knit a pair of socks. I don't know if it's because I'm working on too many projects at once, or because I really haven't had as many meetings where I usually do most of my sock knitting. I'm not too sure about what's causing the delay, but there is nevertheless a delay. I didn't initially like the pattern that was emerging when I first started this. When I was working on it, I'm like, I wasn't really feeling it. I'm just being honest with you. But now that once I got to the pink, then I started to fall in love with the yarn. I went a little wider for the heel in order to give the person I'm knitting this for a little bit more room. And then finally, I am just making progress on the foot. I think I have about another 3 inches left to do. I'm going to do a measurement just to see. I finally got past this little point here. I don't know what it is. If you see that little black stripe there, for this section, and when anytime I'm knitting socks, it takes me a while to get through, and I'm just like, come on, grow. But it finally started to grow, and I'm finally at this particular point where I know I'm getting closer to the toe. But I need to keep going. My hope is to finish this hopefully by the end of next week, so I can concentrate on another pair of socks that I cast on about 3 weeks ago now. I also have the imagination blanket that I haven't touched since my New York trip. And I also decided to make a baby blanket on the fly for one of my coworkers. She's having her first child. She's having a baby girl. She's a little overdue. And I told her that happens sometimes. And so just to stay calm, listen to her doctor, and do whatever she can to enjoy the free time that she has, because her little darling's going to take up all her time. So I'm going to reach out and check in on her to see how she's doing, but her blanket is almost done, and I will be shipping that out to her family, hopefully by the end of next week as well. Another project that I decided to put on the needles, because I knew if I didn't get it on the needles, I probably never would cast it on for this year, and it's a traveler sweater. This is something I've been going back and forth with myself about knitting. I'm not a big fan of the stitch pattern. I thought I could fall in love with it, then I fell out of love with it, now I'm falling in love with it. So I'm kind of stuck in between. The yarn I'm using is a little bit thinner than what I originally had planned when knitting this particular garment, so it's making me even more hesitant about doing it. But all in all, I've already got it on the needles. And what I did notice about with the traveler sweater is that it has the same similar construction as a Stromboli top, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. It's an all over lace weight pattern. And so what I may end up doing is to transition the yarn or that particular hem to the Stromboli sweater, because I cast on the same number of stitches for both. So for the size I want to do is pretty much the same cast on. So if I really am not really feeling the traveler stitch pattern, I'm going to give it a try first before I say a full stop no. I'm going to give it a try first. And if I find that I'm not really feeling it, then I can always rip it back and just start the lacework pattern for the Stromboli. I know that using the yarn that I selected, I'm going to have to make some modifications to my gauge. And so I'm going to have to check that to make sure that my biggest concern is about row gauge, not necessarily the width, because the width of it is fine. And if I had to do some decreasing around the way or increasing, who knows. But nevertheless, I know I have enough yarn to do the Stromboli using that particular pattern. So that's where I'm at with that item. And that's it. That's on my needles that are considered to be semi-active whips. Hopefully the sleeves on this beautiful zipper sweater, let me show you what this looks like one more time, will be finished. I'm so proud of myself for finally casting this on. This is something I've been talking about doing for a very long time. And so I was really happy that I finally got it on the needles. The hardest part with the zipper sweater is just the collar. If you're not a big fan of ribbing, it takes a while to kind of get yourself motivated to do the ribbing. But once you get over that little hurdle, you're going to get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode because I need to do my braids. I need to put away my laundry. Yeah. And I probably need to go make sure that my sons haven't rode their bikes too far, and that the oldest is drinking his tea like I told him to. So I'm going to bid you all a farewell. I hope that you have an amazing weekend, whatever it is that you decide to do to celebrate with your family or with yourself, and that you are able to treat yourself to either one of the beautiful patterns I shared with you or something else that puts a smile on your face. Everybody deserves a smile, and I hope you find something that will put a smile on your face. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. Bye for now.